What happens when your energy just isn't there anymore? When your bucket feels leaky, your plate's too damn small, and all you want is to stop responding to the world and start actually living in it? Well, this week we're talking about midlife energy, menopausal rewiring, and why hustle might never have been the point. In fact, we're sure it wasn't. Join us for a hilarious, deeply grounding conversation on choosing grace over grind and making up your own damn rules as you go along. Hi there. Welcome to the Empowered and Embodied Show. I'm Kim Romain.
And I'm Louise Neil. We're two transformational coaches who are also fellow travelers on the path of growth and self-discovery. And we're inviting you along for the ride.
That's right. We're right here in the trenches with you, navigating the ups and downs of life. And each week we'll be sharing our own experiences, bringing you conversations with amazing guests, and exploring insights and strategies that have helped us find more clarity, confidence, and ease in our lives.
And trust us, we do not have it all figured out. We're learning and growing right alongside you.
So if you're ready to rise above the chaos, doubt, and confusion that sometimes life throws our way
and step into a more empowered and embodied version of yourself,
then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Kim Romain, joined as always by my fellow co-host.
That's me. I'm Louise. I love the way we start our podcast every week with this little routine that you and I have, right? Where you come in and you're saying who you are and I get to respond to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It feels like it feels like we've got this groove and we've got this little routine, and it sets the stage. It sets the stage for the listener, I hope, to know that we're right jumping into our episode. It also sets the stage for me, where I get to say, like, whatever else is going on out there in the world for the next, right, half an hour or an hour, here we are, you and I, or you and I and a guest and the listener. We get to sit down and have a really good conversation about something that's mostly, it's something that feels wobbly to me, or something that I'm deeply curious about, right? Those are the two things that we seem to talk about on the show. And I love that whole, like, the settling piece that you and I do, and the responding piece. It feels grounding to me, but only here does it feel grounding.
Really?
The responding piece?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. Why does responding not feel grounding elsewhere?
It feels often outside of my control.
Reacting.
Yeah. Like responding to something, right? To be in those moments where it's not just a response that I'm offering or that is offered, but it's a reaction to something that's going on in the world, or going on, like, in my business or on my calendar or on my phone or in the kitchen. Like, I'm usually reacting or responding to something, and it doesn't always feel grounding.
No, I will agree. So reacting doesn't feel grounding to me. Responding can feel overwhelming to me if I don't have enough time to process between what I need to respond to, right? So I was joking earlier with you. It's like, how the fuck did I used to have a job? Right? I mean, and it's so funny because I have so many more responsibilities now, so much more going on in my business than I ever had when I had a job. And I was responsible for a lot of things in my job. But I spent my time responding. I think I spent most of my time responding, sometimes reacting, but mostly just in response all day long. And I'm gonna pull a little human design in here. as a sacral being, both of us as sacral beings, we're designed to respond. So we're manifesting generators. For those of you who don't, I feel like that lady who says it's manifesting, look it up. If you don't know what a manifesting generator is, feel free to look it up. High level sacral being means that our role is to respond. We also, as the manifesting part, we get to initiate and inform. But I feel like for me, that sacral part of me is really burnt out. It's tired of responding. It's right. Spending my time reacting. And that I definitely did when I was practicing law. I was definitely more in reactionary mode when I was practicing law. And though had I been responding, I probably wouldn't have burnt out so quickly. But spending all that time reacting was really taxing on my system. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to think about how much of our days are spent. I don't even know what the options are. Spent doing something other than responding, because I still feel like that's where I feel when I feel crunchy in my work. It's like I need people to stop giving me something to respond or react to. Like, stop giving me stimulus. So maybe that's what you mean by it doesn't feel as grounding. It's just a lot of stimulus.
Yeah, like, so I've been thinking a lot about like where I'm spending my time and my energy.
Sure.
Because I do feel like I have a lot on my plate, right? Like there are, I call them fireflies. Like there are sparks and fireflies everywhere right now. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that one. Oh, let's just start collecting all of these things. And then before I know it, right, it's my jar is full of fireflies and I don't know what to do with any of them. And I'm finding that those things that are kind of like really sucking my energy are things that are very, I guess, like demand a response from me, or demand, like it's demanding something from me and I just don't want to give it anymore. Whereas those things that are less demanding, I don't feel like I'm necessarily responding. I feel like I'm like grabbing it. Like I feel like I'm like going for it. It's very different than like just responding to something. There's action over here. There's reaction over here. So the listeners are like, you just said the same thing. There's, but you could see my hands.
If you can see her hands.
If you can see my hands, right? Like there's a space that's very much feels so much more exciting and generating of energy versus like just in that like response or reaction place. And so it's really understanding for me is like where am I filling the bucket and where is the bucket leaking?
I feel that one so deeply. Like, I have a really leaky bucket. I have a really leaky bucket. Some days
Yeah.
it's not so leaky. Some days I feel like I've gotten the sap or the tar in there, and it's in, or a plug, and it's okay. Right? It's starting to fill up again and it's good. It's not overflowing. It's good. It feels good. It's sloshing around. But man, the leaky bucket syndrome is real. And I don't know about you. I think about it. It's like, okay, what is depleting my energy? That's what I just want. It's like, I want to know what is actually depleting my energy. Is it the tasks that I'm doing? Is it the people that I'm working with? Is it the conversations that I'm having? Is it? And right, I go through the list of things so I can say, okay, how is that misaligned? But I feel like even going through that process depletes me sometimes now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just one more thing for me to have to figure out.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's our age. I don't know if, the hormonal component of it. I mean, you've been studying that considerably more than I have. I know that it feels connected to my body in some way, right? I'm getting the signals from my body. And then I kind of lose the plot from there. It's like, I'm getting the signals. Ah, right? When I'm feeling that leaky bucket, it's like, what do I do?
Mm. Do you feel like you used to know and now it's different?
I feel like I didn't used to care. I feel like, I feel like if it was leaking, I'm like, oh, well, I'll go find another bucket, put it underneath it, or I'll fill a new one, whatever. If it didn't, I feel like I care more about. It's funny because I give zero fucks about other things right now that I used to care about. But like where my energy is going, I care. I want to know where it's going and why is it leaving.
Does it feel like it's finite? Like, do you have like a limited amount?
I don't think so. I mean, sure, we can look around us and see that as people age, we have less energy. So sure, at a certain point, it's harder to nurture the energy that we have within ourselves, and how we work with that. But I don't think we're at that. Like, I think that's a good 30, 40 years from now. Like, I don't think we're at that. So no, I don't think it's finite. And yet it feels like it. It really feels like it. It's like, I guess before I would just go get another bucket. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
did I leave that bucket somewhere?
Where's the bucket store? Like, is there a store nearby? Can I go get some more? Like, I used to have a lot of buckets and now I'm out.
I don't
And
know
I
where the
need.
buckets went. I don't tell me how this, like, is this resonating with you at all?
Well, absolutely. Right. And when we think about, I'm going to go all like, I'm going to go menopausal here for a second, but no rage attached to it.
I was going to say
Um,
that's really terrifying to hear somebody saying, I'm going menopausal.
so so we need to remember that as we're going through like perimenopause and menopause and even early postmenopause, there is so much going on in our bodies that has not been going on before, that there is, it might be an energy leak in the sense of like we need extra energy right now. It's being used up in a different way, right? So all of the changes that are happening to us physically don't always manifest into things like hot flushes, or right, or
Right.
even rage, like things that we can see. There's a lot of things that are happening. Like our brains are actually completely updating its operating system right now, because it used to get estrogen as a fuel and it's not there anymore, or it's very unreliable in that sense as well. And so our brains are trying to like figure out like how do I make these connections that estrogen actually helped facilitate before. And so we're going through this kind of like this rewiring. There's also a lot of rewiring that happens because like that no fuck 50s, like that's a real thing, because we don't have to necessarily care for our offspring in the same way. We don't have to care for our lives in the same way. And so our brains are like saying, yeah, like let's figure out like what we do need to care about. And so it's this huge transition. All organs in our bodies impacted by estrogen fluctuations. And so your liver's trying to figure out how to function. Your thyroid is like, what the fuck is going on now? Right? All of these things are being updated. And so when you think about like, oh, I used to have more energy, or I feel like I had this abundance of energy, or I didn't care if there was a leak, it was fine. Now it makes a difference, because if we don't plug up those leaks, or if we don't understand what's going on, like we can feel really depleted, and and that's all part of this transition place as well. So there is a bit of a black hole, right? That our energy isn't necessarily leaking; it's just being required by other things right now.
So it's like when, and I know not everybody listening has had a pregnancy, right? Not everybody who has a womb has a pregnancy. I know in my full term pregnancy with our daughter, I this brain of mine
Mm-hmm.
felt shut off for a lot of the time. And then I would have these spikes of like brilliance and
Mm-hmm.
spikes of energy. And when it would dip, I would say, that's okay. You're building a neural network. Like I could understand what I was building inside of me because there's a whole human being growing in there. And I feel like with what you just said, and I get the cool factor there is like, yeah, there's things happening. It doesn't feel like a quote unquote upgrade. It feels like, oh, women of this age didn't used to live this long, so I'm dissolving into mush at this point.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel real good because I'm not dissolving into mush. I'm not ready for that shit. But because we live so much longer.
Sure. And it's the messages that we're getting too, right? From the systems around us that like older women don't contribute like younger
Which is
women
bullshit.
did. Older women don't have the hustle or the drive like younger women did. Like there's all of these messages we get from society that are just like baked into our DNA. Cause let's be real. It's generational. And so yeah, those messages from society are saying like, guess what? As you can't procreate, then what good are you?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
And
so
I feel like I would I hustle? Maybe I'd hustle. Maybe. I don't know. It's not in my design to hustle.
but even if it was like maybe that's not who you are now. Like hustle like the way that we think and what we bring to the table now is so different than what we brought to the table when we were 25. Like it's
Yeah, but when I was
different.
25, I opted out of those systems. I was not. Everybody's like, "What ladder are you climbing?" And you climb the ladder, and I'm like, I don't want to be on. I don't like heights. I'm not climbing a ladder. That was not me. I was happy to, and I had some high powered jobs with a lot of responsibility and I loved them. But I wasn't trying to go from my role to the next role up. I was like, yep, this is going to be good until I figure out whatever entirely new industry I'm going into and totally new job I'm going to take on. But so like that idea of hustle, I don't know that I've ever hustled. That's never been in my personality. But right now, I'm like, man, I would kill for some drive. I would love it. I would really, because like the hour and a half that I have it each day is not enough. Yeah. And when I spend it, as we started the conversation, when I spend it responding, I'm like, well, that is not how I want to be operating. I'm a business owner.
Right.
I'm not here. I mean, yes, as a sacral being, and I do understand that aspect of myself, responding in that way is fine. Responding to the, etheric opportunities and real opportunities that come to me, fantastic. But responding to people and responding to emails and responding to text messages, fuck that. I don't want to do that. That is not, that doesn't feel like a good use of my time.
So how do you make so why do it? Like why not do it differently?
So I have like 14 answers to that. So today I turned off all my notifications. I was like, if you need me, I'm not available. I told my loved ones who we always have this text chain at a certain time of day and everybody's all excited. And I'm like, I love you. This is not about you, but I cannot hear another notification. And I have I have it just on vibrate. Like I don't, and nothing on my computer pops up, but I know it's happening. Like I can see it enough. I turned off everything and I'm like, no more. So absolutely, I do that. I have days that I've blocked off my calendar where it's like, this is a focus day. And I do it at the same time. Like I put all of my stuff on do not disturb. It is focus time. And so that I can be okay with. And I still feel like even when I turn everything off, I'm not guaranteed that's the time that I have the capacity right now to do what it is that I'm setting. And it's so funny, right? Because I have these conversations with my clients too, and we work through it and all of that. 100%. And I'm glad we're talking about it so that people can hear how we deal with it for ourselves, and how we deal and how we are experiencing it ourselves. You know, we're not sitting up here on high like, no, I got this shit all figured out. I know what tools to use, and it can be really fucking frustrating still.
Right. Because, I mean, it's not like you can map your energy all the time, right? Hour by hour, minute by minute. And as much as I do the same with my clients too, right? Is like, pay attention to your energy. What are the patterns? Do you notice patterns? How can you maximize those patterns, right? If you always feel super depleted after lunch, answer your email then, right? Like, try to match your activities with your energy and see what you can do. A lot of times we don't have control over some meetings and stuff, but I think especially during this time in our lives and this transition that we're going through, it even becomes more, I can't even think of the word, inconsistent, right? Where what was working doesn't work anymore, right? Well, maybe we don't have drive or energy for days. Then what do we do? And then when we do have it, we're booked in, we have to sit in some stupid meeting, or right, and all we have is super like antsy energy, where it's like, I just have to work on this. I can't believe I'm sitting in this meeting. I just have to work. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Right. Like, there's these energies that come and go now with complete unpredictability.
And I think that the part that is really important here is honoring the energy to the best of our capacity. So if we have the ability to, if we get exhausted and fully depleted, right? The bucket has fully leaked. If we can, if we are working in a space that we can do this, to go lay down, or if it feels aligned, to go for a walk, right? Usually one or the other is going to help. Or go move your body if the walk isn't available. If we don't have access to that, what are some of the things that we can do when we start to feel depleted, but we know that we're in it in the moment? What are some of the things that you suggest to your clients?
Can I just say, and I'll say this to you too, like, just give yourself some grace, please, right? Like, this isn't a forever thing. If you don't have drive or energy one day, like, that doesn't mean like you're washed up, that that you're never going to get it back. It's like, this is a really tumultuous time with everything that's going on inside us as we go through midlife and this transition, outside us as we go through that weird thing that's happening. Right? Even cosmically, right, Kim? You talk about transitions all the time, and there's that layered on top of layers on top of layers. And so when we can just step back for a minute to say, like, this day today, if I needed to nap, I needed to nap. And that's okay. It got me through today, right? Tomorrow's is a different day, and you're a different person, and the world is a different place. And so giving ourselves just some grace to say, like, not every day do we have to be on. Not every day do we have to be like looking at our calendars and trying to find, like, where's that little bit of energy and how can I maximize my time? And right, that's a cognitive load we just don't need.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about with the honoring, right?
Yeah.
It's that place of grace. Used to work in Montessori, grace and courtesy, right? Give yourself a little bit of grace and courtesy. Because when we honor what our bodies need, whether taking a nap, whether going for a walk, whether just sitting there and saying, I don't have it right now. I have to work on this project, right? So I was working on a project for a client earlier, and I was feeling myself tank. I did some things to try and boost myself a little bit, but I knew cognitively I was still flooded. Like, it just wasn't flowing the way I needed it to. So I sat there and I went, okay, if this is what I'm experiencing, what do I need to do so I'm not zoning out, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with zoning out. I didn't want to zone out because that would have damaged the project that I was working on. If I'm going to work on it, don't zone out. Like that's one of the things. And so I gave myself like this time period. It's like, I'm going to give it focus for 10 minutes. If I can't maintain it for 10 minutes, I'm going to disconnect.
Right.
If I can maintain it for 10 minutes, let's take a little break and then come back and see if I can maintain it for any longer. I couldn't maintain it past those 10 minutes. So I went into a different project that if I was zoned out or if I flaked out or whatever, it wasn't going to be detrimental.
Right.
Right. And that's where it's honoring your energy. It's knowing, look, we all have more than one thing on our plate. We all do. Be great if we all only had one thing. But we all have so much on our plates. Like that swapping out of what we're working on is huge. Because if something is feeling really like painful to try and get through, what other project do you have on your plates? What other task do you have that maybe won't feel quite so painful in that moment? And we're talking about this through the lens of, right, you sharing a lot about menopause, about middle age. This can happen at any time.
Absolutely.
For any gender.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you talk about things on your plate. A lot of things, like oftentimes we don't look at what's on our plate, right? Like we're just God. Like, what?
I remember a conversation we had about the peas falling off the plate. Do you remember that one? Maybe not. We had a conversation about all the peas falling off the plate. And like, do we put the peas back on the plate or do we leave the peas on the table?
Are they even your peas?
Well, that's just it.
Right?
Whose peas are they?
Yeah, maybe they're not yours. Maybe you don't actually need peas, right? Like, and we often don't look at it. We just say like, it's full. I got to keep on it. I'm going to go from peas to the potatoes to, right? Like, and I'm just going to keep moving. And it's like, ooh, like, let's also examine what's on our plates a little bit. Mm-hmm. We don't have to carry all of those things on our plate. We get to. Sometimes it's an honor, right, to have those things on your plate. But sometimes they're not yours, or if they are yours, maybe they don't belong on your plate today, and we do get to put them down.
Yeah, it's this place of also, let's look at the plate, not just what's on the plate, but let's look at the plate. Are you operating with, a saucer that goes under a teacup? Are you operating with a dessert dish? Are you operating with a salad dish? Are you operating, right, with a dinner size plate? Or are you operating with a platter, like a serving platter? Let's see what plate you're even working with.
Absolutely.
Before we start to decide what goes on the plate. Because right now, I'll tell you, my days feel like I have a saucer. And so for somebody who's used to working with a platter, ooh, it's very different.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going, okay, I don't have a platter. I'm a little pissed off I don't have the platter because I really liked having the platter. But right now I'm operating with a saucer. Right. So what am I going to put on my saucer today?
Absolutely.
And does anybody else nearby have a plate I could put some of these leftovers on? Because I don't want them to go waste.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Our plate does change size.
Totally changes size.
Yeah. And we often don't think like all of a sudden a full plate is like, my plate is full. Didn't feel this full yesterday. Feels full today. And our plate is smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay that it's smaller. It's okay that it's smaller. There's nothing wrong with us. It may feel like, and I think that's at the beginning, right? I can swear all I want and say how much I don't like it. And I know there's nothing wrong with me. I want to understand it. I do want to understand it. And I could point at all the different reasons, right? Sure, my age. So I'm affected by some menopause-esque thing. I don't know where I am in the process, but something there. That's absolutely there. Stress. I have some stress in my life. There's some stress that's happening systemically,
Mm-hmm.
right? So things that are happening outside of me. There's absolutely shifts in the cosmos. I talk about it all the time. And there's, how much sleep did I get? There's what did I eat? There's what did I, right? All of those different things all go into why I have a saucer right now. And it's okay. Doesn't feel good, but I can accept it. And that place of acceptance is hard to get to. It's really hard to get to. Acceptance doesn't mean we're not angry or frustrated by it. It doesn't mean that we're not feeling bitter or pissed off by it. We can accept it and still be pissed off. It just means that we understand that that's where we are.
Yeah, there's a big letting go, right? Of that expectation that we all walk around with platters all the time. And
well, those are the systems. That's right. Yeah. And that we all have the same size platter.
Absolutely. And I think, for me, as I think about, like, as I set up my business, but also like as I set up my life, like, what is my life? I did some journaling today about, like, what's the next 10 years like, right? Like, what is that? Who do I want to be at 63? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Like, what are those things? So that I can start to say, like, with reverse engineering, what are the things that need attention today that get me to where I want to go? Now, I don't know what size my plate's going to be when I'm 63, right, but I can tell you it's not going to be a platter. I'm done with platters. Mm-hmm. Platters are heavy and, right? I don't want to eat that much, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not going to do or accomplish really big things. It means that I'm going to be discerning about what I do and what I want to accomplish. And I'm going to be a little ruthless in it so that I can make sure that I have that, right? I have what I want on my plate at 63. And I think there's this idea too, is that I get to decide not just what's on my plate for the most part. I feel like I do. Maybe not today, but at 63 I will. But I get to decide how big my plate is. I get to decide what color it is. I get to decide the pattern that's on it. That plate is mine, and I get to decide. And so it really is that. And I think, right, with our systems and society, we think that we're carrying a platter through the rest of our lives, that we have to be filling it up. We have to be doing, we have to be, right, able to manage all of it, keep all the peas on the plate. Because what happens if they fall off? Yeah, what happens if they fall off? Maybe I'm just tired of peas, right? And so there's a lot of that that's going on with me right now, is kind of like this reclaiming, as I'm trying to understand, like, who I am and who I want to be. I'm reclaiming a lot of who I am. And I'm saying, like, no thank you to the platter. Like, I'm tired of eating that much.
We started the conversation from the place of responding. You were celebrating that, right? We get to come in here and you get to respond. Hey, right? And that feels grounding. There is, in what you just shared, in that place of discernment is a form of response. Like, that just came through to me. When we're discerning, we are responding to the stimulus that is here. We get to respond to, this is the path I'm going to follow. This is the choice I'm going to make. These are the peas I'm going to eat or not eat. This is what the shape of my plate is. Discernment is a super boosted or a super nuanced way to respond. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Because it doesn't feel like a response. It feels like, feels different. Feels like, response to me feels very much like it's the external, and I'm still responding to something outside of me. Like I'm reacting to the environment. I'm reacting to what's going on.
See, but that's the difference between reacting and responding. I respond to myself all the time. What I choose to respond to takes discernment.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same for me. And if it is, I don't know that if it's that word that resonates. I don't know. I have to chew on that. It's so much food. I'm so hungry. I must be hungry.
So
food, buckets, water, leaks. We covered it all today.
I have a great recipe for a leek soup. Yeah, I think we have these opportunities to recognize when we're reacting. Reacting is the place where we are not owning, right? We're just in reaction mode. We're not owning any of that for ourselves. We're not taking that self-responsibility. Bonding is that place where there is a stimulus that we get to take action or not inaction on. What do we choose to do with that stimulus? That is, to me, what response is. Discernment is the choice that comes with response, is how I kind of see that as you were sharing, how I was seeing it in my head built out. And that place where I said, right, how the fuck did I used to have a job with all this responsibility when in my business, I feel like this feels so overwhelming at times. I think the difference is the discernment for me feels more important. It's more important that I'm making and responding to the decisions in a way that does lead me to that 10-year vision, that does lead me to who I'm very aware of that I'm evolving into. Whereas when I was in response to everything, like this churn of response to everything when I was working for somebody else, some of that was reactionary, as I said, but that churn of response, I didn't discern as much. It came to me, I responded. It came to me, I responded. I came to me, responded. Whereas now it comes to me, is that for me? I don't know. Is that right? So it is, and it's not cognitive. It's some of it is, but it's not largely cognitive. But it is that place of taking on the higher level of discernment and responsibility for what I am responding to.
I still don't think that word does not resonate with me.
That's okay. You said you can have your own experience.
Apparently, I do. I have my own experience and my own opinions too. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I love it.
The word that you said earlier that keeps coming back to me is like gestation, right? And I feel like that's a place where I'm in right now, and it's like I feel like I am in a place where I get to create what I want, what I see, like that vision, right? 10 years from now, I'm actually going to create that. And today at 53, right? Like I am the creation of who I was at 43.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was less intentional about it. Let's be honest, but it's still, I still did that. Right. I've done pretty cool things in the last 10 years. But it's that word gestation and that word that really feels like that's where I am right now, is really in this creation place. And to me, that does not feel like responding. It feels like creating.
I so want to get into it with you. These are the types of conversations we have, though. We will sit here and spin for hours on pulling apart, not because I don't need you to agree with me at all. That's not it. But it's that place of, yes, what you just said is what I said. We're just saying it in very different ways. But I don't need you to agree with the way that I said like that. I don't need that at all. I just want to dig into it because it's so fun to start seeing through a little bit through your eyes. That's right. And I think we have fun doing that together, is like, no, but tell me more. Like, how does that, right? And I think that's a gift that we have with each other, but we also have that for ourselves. Obviously, we have that for who we serve, for our clients. But that part for ourselves, we do have it. We get to find the language that works for us so that we are able to unpack and process and move through and respond and react and discern and gestate and create and do all the things that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what, that's the whole thread and the whole premise of our podcast, right? Not just this episode, but all of our episodes. It's really helping the listener pick up on those threads, like pick up on the words that you agree with or disagree with, like really like embody what's going on when you're listening to an episode. And if it's like, hell yeah, or if it's like, fuck that, they don't know what they're talking about,
That's cool.
own that. That is cool. We want that too, but we want you to be able to like go inside and start to deeply understand kind of like those feelings are telling you a lot about what's going on, and to really like try to, I don't want to say settle in, but get deeply curious about those things, because it's through that we actually get our power back, that we actually start to understand where our energy is going. And we start to understand that, no, there are leaks in the bucket that I want to plug, or, you know what, it's fine, I'm going to find another bucket. It comes with, right, those feelings that from the conversations that we're having.
Yeah. So is that your takeaway for today?
Yes.
Excellent.
What's your takeaway?
Louise doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't.
And sometimes I don't. We're humans. There's plenty of times that we're talking out of our asses, but I don't think we intentionally ever are going, no, I'm just going to steer you the wrong way.
Sure.
Right? It's just, we just don't know, and we're figuring it out. And the way that we figure it out is by verbally processing.
Right.
Right. So, which makes us great for podcasting. But my takeaway is the differential, is allowing ourselves to notice what we feel, find the difference, right? So we're feeling maybe different things. We're experiencing it differently. So we're using different words because it's not a same situation. So owning what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and acknowledging that if somebody else has said that that's what they're sharing their experience, it doesn't have to match. It absolutely doesn't. And it likely won't. We're always trying to look for ways to put people in boxes so we understand better. But sometimes our boxes aren't the same size or same shape. And sometimes we don't need the boxes, like we don't need the peas and we don't need the platters all the time. It's okay. Make up your own fucking rules. That's my real big takeaway from all this, is make your own give yourself some grace and make up your own fucking rules.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I got there. Took me a second, but I got there. I'm tired, man. Louise, I know there's so many good things happening in your world. You're still working with your group program through the summer?
That is going to wrap up before the summer. That group program, the cohort. So yeah, there'll be great things happening in the future for sure with that particularly. But in the meantime, like just head on over to Substack at the Rag. This is the Rag at Substack, and let's talk menopause, and let's talk about how it's impacting our energy, what's happening inside. So with a little bit more information, we can actually steer the ship in the way we want to go, instead of feeling like we're being tossed around at sea.
Yeah, love it. Yep. I'm over on Substack as well, talking all things energy, planets, owning your own worth, and making up your own fucking rules. So
the alchemy of ease. Yes.
In the alchemy of ease. It's absolutely true. The alchemy of ease, and we create ease by playing by our own rules, by stopping thinking that we have to play by everybody else's.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you for today.
Yeah, as always, thank you. And thank you, listener, for stopping by and for hanging out with us. And we'd love to hear from you as to what your takeaways are.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
And that's all for this week's episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. We hope today's episode has sparked something within you. Remember, we're all on this journey together. If something did resonate with you today, why not share it with a friend who might need to hear it too? You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. Your feedback not only helps others find the show, but also helps us understand what's most valuable to you. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay curious, and remember, we're walking right alongside you. Thanks for being part of our community.